What's up YouTube, Kristo here, and I got a video for you, big one. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. Top 10 perfume notes, and it's, as you can probably see, it's dark and dreary and rainy. I've been trying to shoot this video for well over an hour now, but the rain gets heavier and stronger and louder, and then the sun goes away and it gets darker, and it's just crazy. But hopefully I think I'll be able to fit it in. So basically this is a revised list of my 10 perfume notes. I believe this was my first list that I ever did. The first top 10 list I ever did was my perfume notes, I think. I didn't watch it. I wanted to construct my list totally based on what I think now. I didn't want to have any influence from last year. Kind of remember a few things that I put here and there, but for the most part I don't really remember much. I will definitely watch the video again, and after the video I'll put in at the bottom what my rankings were from last year. So a few things I'll do differently as well. I'm not going to list off all the notes that I have and whatever like I did before. It was a bit amateur, so to say. So I'm just going to list off a few fragrances that I really like and what one I think is the best. So let's get right into it, because I think this is going to be a long one. Number 10, this one, I just couldn't leave it out. There are a few things I wanted to put into 10th place, but I just couldn't leave this out. The biggest problem though, and the reason I put it in 10th, was just I haven't found enough really great examples of this note. Number 10 is Bergamot. And I did a review, I think last December, where I referenced Bergamot very directly and talked about how much I enjoyed it, and my problem was that it is often kind of a filler note in the opening of a lot of perfumes, and it rarely gets a lot of focus or attention. So it's a kind of thing that a lot of people don't really know about. Well, not necessarily not know about, but don't really pay much attention to, I should say. So to me, and this is the weird thing, I've been looking for really great bergamot notes, and the only one that I can find that is really excellent is still Cartier's Roadster Sport. And you know, a lot of people might think that's comical that I'm choosing a flanker of a designer fragrance, but man, Roadster Sport is so good. And I've tried a lot of fragrances with bergamot, especially in the opening, and a lot of them are just really boring, or the bergamot just doesn't come through that much. I recently picked up Bergamot 22 from Le Labo. I was really let down by that. It's not bad at all, but it's just totally not worth the money. It's so boring and simple and skeletal and stuff. Just really didn't excite me. I've been told to check out the different companies' bergamot, and I've been told there's a few excellent bergamot-based fragrances from Acqua di Parma. So hopefully I will check some of those out in the near future, and you know, perhaps bergamot will climb the list in the next year. Number 9, this is one definitely not on my list before. Number 9 is white florals, and I'm using this kind of a blanket term because, just to be honest, I really don't know enough about white florals. I don't really know which ones are my favorites, but definitely the ones that stand out so far are jasmine, tuberose, and honeysuckle. Those are 3 that I'm really enjoying. Some of my favorite white floral fragrances are Hermes 24 Faubourg, Eau de New York from Bond number 9, D&G La Rue de la Fortune, number 10 in the anthology series, Keiko Macheri's Datura Blanche, which is a very big surprise because it's got some gourmand qualities, and I'm not really big on gourmands, but that's a really nice fragrance. Bond number 9 Madison Soiree, and the one that actually put white florals on the map for me is also Bond number 9 Fashion Avenue. I really like it. It's this really simple, basic, stripped down, heady, white floral fragrance. I really enjoy it a lot. To me, it's kind of a less is more fragrance. My wife really likes it as well. I like to wear it, so you know, a lot of those that I mentioned are for women, but I'm totally in love with them. So I think there are a lot of guys out there who maybe should get into white florals or could get into white florals, but perhaps are, you know, kind of restricting themselves because of the gender label on them. Number 8, this is an interesting note because I've always been aware of it, I've known about it, but I never really focused on it until very recently. Number 8 is papyrus. And the first time I was actually able to isolate this note, I just went like, wow, that is amazing. It's such a unique and strange note. It's very earthy and green, but it's got kind of brown qualities to it as well, like it's earthy. Really love papyrus. There's unfortunately not that many fragrances out there that have really predominant papyrus notes. My favorites being Timbuktu from L'Artisan, Gucci Parum 1, Bulgari Soir, very nice papyrus in there, very obvious as well. But my favorite, the fragrance that actually got me really into papyrus, that kind of, you know, let me see what it was really about, is Santal 33 from Le Labo, which is funny because in Santal 33, the Santal, the sandalwood, is actually, to me, one of the not lower ranking notes, but I definitely get a heck of a lot more papyrus and leather than I do sandalwood. And if you're into papyrus, or if you're interested in it or kind of intrigued by it, really, absolutely, you need to check out Santal 33. Number 7, this is a new one. This is really new, really new fascination. Aldehydes. I'm so into aldehydes. I've been talking about them a lot recently on my channel as well, on Facebook and stuff, talking with people in the community. And people ask me, what are aldehydes? And it's just such a strange thing to describe, especially for a layman like myself. I often just give them a reference point somewhere and just tell them to check it out. It's too hard to describe. But basically, it ends up smelling fresh and clean, often like dried laundry or freshly washed laundry or something like that. Some of my favorite aldehydic fragrances are Joy by Jean Patou, or Eau de Joy as I believe it's also referred to as, Hermès Equipage, Caron's Nocturne, Comme des Garçons 2 EDP, Serge Lutens Le Mur, which is fantastic, but unfortunately it's a Paris exclusive. The thing with aldehydes, it's not really utilized as much in modern perfumery as I wish it was. It's definitely something that's kind of like pre-80s or pre-90s. Men's and women's as well. It definitely appears in a lot of, you know, both sides of the gender there. My favorite though, probably no surprise to anyone that's familiar with my channel, Chanel number 5 EDP. An absolute work of art. The opening of the EDP is just pure, unadulterated aldehydes. It's beautiful, and it just makes me think of so many things. It conjures up so many images in my mind when I smell it. It is genuinely art. Like, that is when perfume was still an art form and not just, you know, a way to make a lot of money. Beautiful. Number 5 EDP, gorgeous. Number 6, quite a trendy note recently. The whole kind of Middle Eastern vibe. This is one Rose is actually seen as kind of a masculine fragrance in the Middle East, and the recent influx in Middle Eastern perfumery and the interest in Middle Eastern notes and whatnot has definitely, you know, there's the amount of masculine fragrances with this note is just increasing, you know, basically monthly. There's new houses that are coming out with these fragrances. Number 6, Rose. I'm really into it. And the thing that's interesting, I couldn't really find any designer fragrances that had really great rose notes. I could find some with rose notes, but nothing that really impressed me. So perhaps that's kind of a trend with the niche market, and the niche market getting so big recently. People really focusing on rose and the popularity, especially with men and the unisex market. Some of my favorites: Tom Ford Noir de Noir, beautiful. Amouage Lyric, L'Artisan Voleur de Roses, amazing. Rose 31 from Le Labo, and the absolute crown in the rose, the absolute jewel in the crown for rose is, in my opinion, Bay Rose 26. It's just flawless. It's beautiful. It is one of the greatest fragrances I've ever smelled, bar none. It's just unspeakably beautiful. I love it. Unfortunately, it is one of the exclusives. It's very expensive. It's very hard to come by. But if you're into rose, it is an absolute must. 100%, you have to try it. Number 5. This was on my list, I remember from last year, but I don't remember where it ranked. Number 5 is Black Pepper. I love it. I love the earthiness to it. I love the kind of aromatic feel that it gives as well. Some of my favorite black pepper fragrances: Burberry The Beat. I'm really big on that. It's so strong and loud, and the black pepper note is just right there. Lalique White. Really great black pepper note in there. I'm a huge advocate of that. Hermescence line, Poivre Samarcande. Really dig that. I think that is one of the few Hermescence fragrances I've tried that I think is actually worth the money. Le Labo Poivre 23, another one from the exclusive line, pretty pricey. I'm definitely not as big on it as some people in the community are, but it is good. I don't know if it's quite worth the exclusive prices, but if it was on the regular list, I would definitely pick up a bottle. My favorite though, virtually, I've heard nothing about this. I don't know why, unfortunately. Odin Tenoke, or Tenoke, I don't know how to pronounce it, forgive me. Amazing patchouli, black pepper, raw earthiness. There's no like funny business there. There's nothing sweet. There's nothing to kind of lighten the strong earthiness to it. It's just full on black pepper and patchouli. Amazing. Number 4, this note has really fallen a lot. Nothing against the note itself. I still really enjoy it, but I just haven't been able to find anything that really excites me. Number 4 is Cypress. This is my number 1 last year. I definitely remember that because I got a lot of really great feedback and comments from people recommending things that I should check out. Some of my favorites, Encre Noire from Lalique. I'm wearing that a lot more lately. Really enjoy that. Eau de Beau, that was one I had a lot of people recommend from L'Occitane. Wonderwood, Comme des Garçons. This one I put a question mark next to because I'm not really sure, but when I smell it, I definitely pick up Cypress Black Afghano. And the thing with that, nobody really knows what's in it. The perfume kept the notes secret. Just a bit of a gimmick in my opinion, but when I smelled it, as soon as I smelled it, I was like, wow, there's cypress in that, or something related to cypress. The best, my holy grail for cypress, and for some stupid reason, I don't own it yet, I don't know why, Hinoki from Comme des Garçons. Fantastic fragrance. Japanese cypress, Hinoki. It's got turpentine notes in it. It's just got all these amazing notes. It's one of the best woody fragrances I've ever smelled. It is absolutely amazing, and it's very reasonably priced as well. I don't know why I don't have it. I need to get my hands on it. 3, this one kind of complements number 6, Rose, with the whole Middle Eastern fad now. A lot of people really getting into this note, and a lot of fragrances coming out with this note. Number 3 is Incense. To me, I love it. I love the kind of contrast that it shows. I love the smokiness Obviously, I love the kind of aromatic qualities, but I love how heavy it can get. It reminds me, when it's done very purely, of kind of a campfire. You know, it brings back memories of college and high school and stuff like that. So to me, some of my favorite incense fragrances: Shalimar from Guerlain, Absolute Fahrenheit from Dior, Gucci Pour Homme 1, Bleu de Chanel. I don't know if this was the angle he was going for, but to me, I get incense when I smell Rude Elements. It's not listed in any note breakdown, but as soon as I smelled it, I was like, wow, something smells like incense in there. But the best, without a doubt, Comme des Garçons, the incense line. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Avignon being the best, and that's definitely the most favorite for the general public, and I totally agree with them. It's done so flawlessly, so perfect. And for $80 for 50 ml, you know, that's the kind of price you're paying for Dior or Chanel over the counter. Like, that's just beautiful stuff for what you're paying for. Number 2, this is a new one. This is a weird note because I've known about it long before I was like into perfume. I knew about this note, but I didn't really know anything about it. There's all these negative stereotypes and kind of general biasness to it, and I never really understood it, and I still don't, to be honest. Maybe it's just because I'm not from that generation. But number 2 is patchouli. I love patchouli. I love the earthiness, the headiness you get with it. And I definitely remember in high school, before I was like really into perfume, I would wear cologne and stuff at school, but I didn't really know it or analyze it or anything. And people would make jokes about smelling like patchouli, smelling about hippies and stoners and, you know, welfare bums and stuff. I really didn't understand the correlation between those, and I genuinely still don't. I don't really see where it comes from. But now that I'm into it and I've kind of gone past my prejudice towards it, I really dig it. Some of my favorite patchouli fragrances: Coromandel from Chanel, the Les exclusive line. Amazing. Voleur de Roses from L'Artisan. Cooper Square from Bond No. 9. That is totally different from anything I've ever smelled from Bond No. 9. So unique, so different. Montal Patchouli Leaves, Reminiscence Patchouli, which is actually a women's fragrance, but totally unisex in my opinion. Reminiscence makes some really great scents, definitely worth looking into. But the best, unfortunately, it is insanely expensive: Luxe Patchouli from Comme des Garçons. Yet another Comme des Garçons that makes my list. This is like $400 or $450 for a 45 ml bottle. It really does just smell like the pure essence of patchouli when you spray it. I would love to have a bottle, but it's just way out of my price range for how big the bottle is. Just no way I would pay that much, but it is beautiful. Number 1, my number 1 note, this totally came out of nowhere. Basically in the last 6-8 months, I've been totally into this note, and it just shot straight to the top instantly once I kind of became aware of it and was able to isolate it and understand a little bit more about it. Number 1, Neroli. I love it, I love it, I love it. It mixes 3 aspects that I really enjoy. It's got citrus aspects, it's got white floral aspects, and it's got kind of clean, fresh laundry feelings to it as well. So I really enjoy it. Neroli is basically an oil extracted from lemon trees, and in the purest essence of neroli, it's just so strong and cloying and just beautiful. I love it so much. It is often watered down very heavily, obviously, when you smell it in perfumes. It's often seen as fresh and light and summery and stuff, but neroli oil in its purest essence is really strong and loud. My favorite neroli fragrances: Escalier Portofino from Dior, the Cruise Collection line. I love that stuff. Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford. It's good. Not my favorite neroli though. My favorite, no surprise if you've been following my channel, Eau de New York from Bond No. 9. That stuff, I just can't speak enough about it. I think that stuff is phenomenal. I love it so much. It's just got so many different aspects and angles, white flowers and citrus, and the earthy oak mossy base to it. It's just amazing. I love it so much. So neroli, my #1 note. I really want to hear what your notes are, your top 10, top 5, top 3, #1, whatever. Let me know. I assure you I will be checking them out without a doubt. Let me know what you think of my list as well. If you have any recommendations as well, I would love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you when I see you.